Hi. Hello, hello, hello. We're here. And I am so freaking excited. Let me just make sure that it's going to the right one. Awesome. It is. We are streaming to both the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. Hi, Ariana. Hello, hello. So excited for day one. It was so funny. So just side note, hello, hi. I was getting ready for the stream, and I'm just so you guys know, for those of you guys that are here early with me, StreamYard is the third party that I use to stream to both Facebook and YouTube. And so I thought that I put it I set it for like an hour before because basically through StreamYard, I can essentially schedule out the streams so that all of you guys get like reminders through Facebook and also on YouTube, like at least an hour before. And I went to like go type in just some extra stuff. And I was like, I never did that. I got it mixed up with the emails that I was sending. So sorry about that. We had to start like 5 minutes late. So I apologize for that. But with that being said, speaking about the third party, okay. Hi, Veronica. I just want to show you guys a little something for those of you that are on Facebook. Whenever you comment, depending on if you allowed StreamYard access, there's like a little link in the description of this video above it's actually inside Facebook and YouTube. Okay. Unless you click that link that basically says, yes, you are allowed to see my name, I won't see your name. For example, this is Elisa. I see Elisa because she's been a part of StreamYard for a while now. So just a heads up, there's going to be situations where I'm like, I don't know who that is. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. It's just simply I can't see who it is. So feel free if you're comfortable, you by no means have to do that. Just click that link just so that I can be able to see your name because it's a third party. That's why I can't see it. So it's just Facebook's way of, keeping your privacy good to go. It's just literally like me being able to see your name. So don't worry, it's nothing weird or anything like that. Okay. Oh, hi, Sabrina. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, that's so weird, Sabrina. Well, hi, Sabrina. I'm so sorry that it's not working for you. I wonder why. Because we'll talk about that later. So Sabrina and Elisa, now that we're like on that topic, are the accountability mentors for this boot camp. And they're also our accountability mentors inside the Inner Circle membership. And they are truly incredible human beings. I love them so much. And for those of you that upgraded, I'll go over that in a second. You guys actually get direct mentorship from one of the two of them. And it's like really, really great experience. But either way, you guys will be hearing a lot from them throughout the next few days during this boot camp. So you'll see them a lot, in the Facebook group. And then also during the lives, you'll kind of hear them cheering everybody on, getting you pumped up, getting you motivated. And the best thing is that upgrade that we have for you guys, that we're offering for you guys, is just an added accountability, because there's a whole entire statistic that showcases we are 95% more likely to achieve our goals. Like 95%. That is a huge percentage when you have accountability kind of like holding you to those goals. So that's why I decided to bring in accountability mentors such as Elisa and Sabrina, so that we could have added accountability for those that really, really want to just like go all in. They really want to have that added support. And they are two amazing human beings to have have that part of your journey. Okay. Hi, Vivian. Hello. Yes, Sabrina says if you have any questions, definitely let them know. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually, because I get distracted really easily, I'm going to kind of like take breaks from looking at the chat because I will definitely get distracted like I am right now. So if you have any questions, what I'm going to have you guys do, if you have questions that are like about the content that I'm about to go over at any point, whether it's today or in the next few days. Hi, Jordan. Jordan's over on YouTube. Hi. But if you have any questions for me directly about the content that I'm going over, write the word question and then write your question so that I know, because here's the thing, you guys are going to, especially in the Facebook group, particularly in the Facebook group, you guys are going to build community. You're going to make friends, you're going to say where you're from, and then you're going to make connections of like, some of you might be in the same state or country, and you might have conversations among yourself. And I see every one of those conversations. And so like for instance, yesterday when I was going live in the training, somebody was mentioning that they were from Canada as well, because Sabrina is from Canada. And so they were like, oh, what part? And so seeing that, I'm like, oh, what part? And I got like confused because I was like, is that question for me? So if you guys have any questions that are directly for me, that, whether it's a question for me or if it's about the content specifically that I'm going over, just write the word question in either like all caps or something to grab my attention that this is a question for me specifically. Otherwise, feel free to like talk amongst yourselves, get pumped up, chat with the mentors, all that good stuff. It's just, I get a little like, whoa, distracted. Okay. So really quick, just a couple announcements before I get into the nitty gritty. Okay. Hi, Elite. Okay, so Elite, really quick, I'm just going to show you guys. This is, we're streaming both for YouTube and Facebook. So she said she didn't realize the Facebook group was separate from I see what you're saying. Yeah, so what you'll do is just go into the most recent email that you got from us, Elite, and then you can just go in there. Elisa or Sabrina, if you can be on standby to allow Elite into the group. I don't have access to it right now because I'm not in the Facebook app. But if one of you two could do that, that'd be awesome. Hi, Paula. So anyways. Okay, so I wanted to go in with a couple announcements. First and foremost, what I was saying just a second ago about the upgrade. So I know that I mentioned this yesterday, but I want to, just in case some of you guys missed yesterday's training, the pre-training day, I want to reiterate these options for you guys just to make sure that everybody knows what their options are and there's no confusion, okay? So there is an upgrade, a $17 upgrade that allows you access to not only getting added mentorship directly from our accountability mentors, meaning one of the two girls between Sabrina and Elisa, that's literally like their name put together, Selena, Sabrina or Elisa, you'll get paired with one of them and they will reach out to you and essentially hold you accountable, find out what your goals are, and just really motivate you to seek out your goals. Like I said before, we're 95% more likely to achieve our goals when we have accountability partners, coaches, mentors, so on and so forth, which is why I added that element into this boot camp. Because my biggest goal, just so you guys know, for every single one of these boot camps is for you guys to find success in whatever that looks like for you, whether that's landing a new job, hitting a certain income level, moving from one state to another or one country to another to like pursue your dreams, whatever that looks like to you. That is what my goal is for you to really get the mindset right, get your marketing in right, and then also like achieving those goals that you set out for yourself. And to really, I can only do so much by like amping you guys up, but having accountability behind it and really like reminding you every single day of the course that we're together for the next few days, it helps significantly. Okay. And so that's a $17 upgrade. And it also includes a negotiations masterclass. So some of you guys, it was really cool to see what you guys wrote in for those of you that are in the Facebook group. You answered 2 questions. And a lot of you said that you're really excited to learn about negotiation and negotiating your rates. So I'm pretty sure almost all of you that said that are signed up for the $17 upgrade, but I want to like, just in case, I'm not going to be going over negotiating rates. It's a separate masterclass. So if you want to learn all about negotiating rates, I know how awkward it is. I know how like weird it feels. And especially if you're at the beginning of your career, you don't know what to charge. There's so many factors into going into negotiating your rates that I created an entire 60-minute masterclass all about that. And it has an entire ebook with email copy, conversate, like basically just copy. And when I say copy, I mean like basically something that you can take like and copy and paste into an email, into a direct message, or into like a text even, so that you can feel comfortable knowing how to communicate when producers or directors or whoever is hiring you is trying to negotiate back and forth. Like I created a whole entire system, and then also giving you an entire rates sheet of what the industry standard is for different, because you guys, it is so all over the board. And I think that's why this topic is so awkward to talk about, because I don't want to get into it, because it's like literally I will go off on a tangent. That's why I made that masterclass. So anyways, if that's something that you're interested in, that $17 upgrade offer, it'll be starting tomorrow. So after tomorrow, so it'd be starting November 15th, that price will go up to $27 instead of 17. So right now it's actually a discounted rate for you guys since you're a part of the bootcamp. Okay. So you'll get that. Then the second upgrade that is offered to you guys, I know some of you were talking about it yesterday, you're interested in it, and I'll go over this a little bit more tomorrow, because it's a direct connection with what the topic is tomorrow, which is marketing, and I mainly talk about Instagram. But for $47, I essentially will go an Instagram audit, do like an Instagram audit for your particular account. Meaning I literally go to your Instagram account, I look at your feed, I kind of take inventory of the stories that you're doing, or maybe you're not, look at your bio, and I essentially give you my feedback on what you can keep, what you can take out, maybe finesse your bio, and also create like a mini marketing strategy for you. Over the last several years, I've had multiple $10,000 days, not days. I wish I'll be there one day. I'm sure of it. But $10,000 months just from my Instagram strategy that I've used over the years. And it's something that I'm like, it's kind of just embedded in my mind now. So I'm trying to help as many makeup artists do this kind of system as possible. I've learned a lot over the years, and so it's something I love sharing. So for $47, I essentially create a recorded video for you so that you can come back to it at any time and see that. So that is $47. If you want any of those upgrades, just hit up one of the accountability mentors, Sabrina or Elisa, so that you guys can get the link. Okay, so Kay says, can we pay for the upgrade later? Yes, you can. The thing is those upgrades, the price points they both go up. So the $17 goes up to $27 starting the 15th. So the day 3. And then the 47 one actually goes up to, let me make sure that I want to make sure that this price, I don't want to say the wrong price. Okay, I was going to say, I didn't want to mess that up. So right now the Instagram audit upgrade is $47, and it goes up to $65 starting November 15th. So you have today and tomorrow to get them at the lower prices. Okay. Yay. Thank you. Okay. So those are all of the announcements that I wanted to like push through. I'm so excited. Wow. Look, Montreal. How do you say that? I'm not even going to attempt that, but sounds really, really cool. Saskatchewan. Wow. Really, really cool. I'm terrible with pronunciation. I'm just like totally embarrassing. And we've got Perth. Awesome. Perth. That's where my man is from. Heath Ledger. Is that right? Am I correct in that, Vivian? My man. I'm pretty sure there's a statue of Heath Ledger in Perth, I think, in Perth, Australia. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong there, Vivian. Anyways, okay, not to get too off topic there. All right, so those were the announcements. The second announcement too is your workbook. So all of you have the link to the workbook. It is in the description of this video, and it is also inside your email. So check your emails if for whatever reason it's, I don't know, not showing up in the description of this video. And that particular workbook is going to be all about the content for today. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start by having a little bit of a party by announcing our winner for the first day prize, the day one prize. Okay, so I'm really excited. All of you guys, I loved seeing your guys's posts, your reshares, and all of that good stuff. Some of you guys said really, really kind things, and so I appreciate all of the love that you guys sent this way. But without further ado, we have our winner, and it is Madison D. Beauty. That is her Instagram handle. Madison, you won the day one prize. So just to remind you, I don't have anything in front of me, unfortunately, because everything is being shipped to me right now. But we have the Rebels and Outlaws Law of Attraction candle so that you can attract some amazing things. And then we have from like my brand, What It Takes, you're getting a manifesting crystal set, and then you'll get a DVD of What It Takes, and then you will also be getting a mini pocketbook. What else was there? And then I do have one thing with me because this is my own personal set, but this is the on-set headset, and basically you'll get a little like Tubies guy that's like a little earpiece with a an added like fitted ear attachment, and then the actual like where you get the little walkie guy and the wire and all that good stuff, and some other goodies from Onset headsets. So you'll get that, and then you will get, oh my gosh, what else? I feel like there's a couple more things. Oh yeah, some Urban Decay foundations, and then also some product from L'Oreal, some concealers from L'Oreal, and then some, it's actually technically Garnier, but they have this little like micellar water. So that's everything that you are getting, Madison. Congratulations, Madison. And just so you guys know, if you checked in your workbooks, there is homework challenges. So the Instagram reshare, that Instagram story, that was your first challenge. So for those of you that participated, give yourself a pat on the back, a round of applause. And that was just like the first challenge, okay? And I'll be going over the day one challenge basically, and then tomorrow I will be announcing the winner, okay? Yes, congratulations to Madison. Okay, so awesome. Yes, Madison. Is that you, Madison? Sheer and Shimmer? Is this you, Madison? Congratulations. Everybody in the Facebook chat is saying congratulations if you can't see it. Okay. All righty. So that is all of the announcements. I'm done with the announcements. So who's excited to start day one's content, mastering your mindset? Let me know in the chat. Say me, say I am, say over here, I'm excited, whatever. Let me know how excited you are, your feelings, all that good stuff. Also, I would love to hear where you guys are from. It'd be really cool to see where everybody's at. I already kind of started a little bit of a thread in the Facebook group about where you guys are from. So that was kind of starting the conversation. So I feel like we have a lot of people from a lot of different areas. It's really neat. I love that. Okay, got it. Cool. So Sheer and Shimmer says, no, that's a fellow artist that she knows, which is Madison she's talking about. Cool. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by sharing who I am. And so that, because like yesterday I told you I was just like not really going to get into it yesterday. It's going to be more about today. So let me take a drink of water really quick. And Cornelia says, me. Jordan over on the YouTube channel says, yes, with all the stars. Awesome. So yeah, I'm Amber Tallarico. Hello, welcome to the boot camp. I am so honored to have you guys here in this space and this energy. And I am the owner and creator of What It Takes. So I'm a freelance makeup artist. I've been doing this for 13 years now. And basically, my story is started back in 2008. Started by doing hair. I went to cosmetology school, and I actually grew a really I grew a passion, I guess you could say, for working with men specifically. I love doing men's haircuts and working with curly hair. That was like my thing. And then I kind of started to develop a interest and a passion for makeup. So I, in 2009, just out of the blue discovered that men's grooming was a thing and that women, not just women, but artists were getting paid to just do men's grooming. And I was like, oh, I was so intrigued by it. And I bought this book by a woman of the name of Diana Schmidt-Key. And basically that was what sparked that, like, opened everything up for me. I had already knew I wanted to do hair in a like editorial, like platform artist way when I was like kind of just starting and like a little bit before makeup or hair school. But then after I, got my license and everything like that, I didn't see, like, the doors didn't like really open for me. Not the doors, but my eyes didn't really open to the world of makeup until this particular time I'm referring to. And I read this book, and Diana just talks about like all these amazing things and working in the film industry and working in the fashion industry. So I actually reached out to her personally, and she responded. I was like, so like, wow, I can't believe she responded. And she basically told me I needed to move to LA. 3 years later, I finally moved, and I literally moved with like, I think, I can't remember if it was $500 or $800. Either way, $800 or less, and I lost 130 of it on the way. Didn't really have a plan. I just knew I wanted to work in the film industry, in the fashion industry, and I knew LA was going to be the best fit for me. So it was the craziest experience, but also one of the best. I lived in Los Angeles for 10 years and became, really, I got consistent work. I was able to, freelance under like every type of job you guys can, like, seriously, I've done everything: commercial, runway, film, TV, both union and non-union. Gosh, what else is there? Men's grooming, red carpet. I did a couple theatrical shows at the like LA Opera. And so like there's a lot of like I've done a lot of things, okay? So the cool thing, and I'm not saying this to brag or anything, I'm saying this to give you perspective of my experience of how much I can share with you guys in all the different areas. So fast forward to a couple years ago, I decided to, because I started really getting into TV and film. I decided a couple years ago that I wanted to kind of take a break, a breather from TV and film, and start really honing in on my men's grooming, which is what I started out with to begin with. And now I am an agency represented celebrity men's groomer, which is awesome. It's like seriously something I am so incredibly proud of. It took me 13 years to get there. And seriously the craziest journey. And then aside from all of my freelance stuff, I have been developing the What It Takes online platform. So back in 2017, I directed a documentary called What It Takes, and it basically showcases the struggles that makeup artists go through to essentially achieve success. And I decided to continue sharing and spreading that message through my online platform. So ever since 2017, I've been developing and curating online courses, webinars, boot camps, challenges. I don't even know what number this is, but I've been doing challenges and boot camps since 2015. So it's been a while. And I really, really love tying in the mindset aspect with marketing, because I really don't think that we can truly succeed to our fullest potential unless both of those elements exist. So this is something that I am really, really passionate about teaching. So that is essentially me in a nutshell. And if you guys have any questions more than that, like, I'd be more than happy to answer. But that is a concise version of my experience in my 13 years of being a freelance makeup artist. So that's me. So we'll go ahead and start talking about mastering our mindset. Like I said, this is my favorite topic. Like, I could talk about this all day. I don't know if you guys can hear my candle. I have this manifesting candle that I got from a friend, and it has one of those like wooden wicks, and so it kind of like crackles. So I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Oh my gosh, look at this. I love this. Pretty Lady Nell, I've been a part of your challenges for about 2 years now. Hey girl, hey. Love it. Love it. It's so good to see you again. Thank you for always coming back. Okay, so mastering our mindset. So before we get started, so a lot of you, and especially you, Nell, you'll know like meditation is something I'm obsessed with. So we're going to start with some meditation. So really quick, I still have this little banner up. Didn't even remember that. Really quick, it's mini meditation time. So just, you guys already got a meditation from me. But what I want to do is just take a moment to just get ourselves in the space to like be really open-minded, open to hearing what you need to hear for the next hour. Okay. So what I want you guys to do, wherever you're sitting, you don't have to lay down for this or anything, just sit, get comfortable. Ideally, it's best if your feet are on the ground. You can sit, cross-legged on your chair, on your couch, on the ground. If you really do feel like you want to lay down, by all means, go ahead. It's just going to be a really quick breathing exercise that is in the form of a meditative practice, okay? Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to sit up straight. When we sit up straight, the air waves are a lot easier to go in and out when we're doing deep breathing, okay? So what I want you to do, if you feel like, called to, I always, like to sometimes put my hand right kind of like in the center of my chest, and then my other hand on my belly. And this is just kind of like bringing awareness to your breathing, okay? Okay. So once you're kind of in a comfortable position, go ahead and allow your eyes to kind of just slowly close whenever you're ready. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start doing some breathing. So what I want you to do is take a couple breaths in and out. Just follow my count. All right, so take a deep breath in and hold it at the top. And exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold it at the top. And exhale. All right, one last deep breath in and hold it at the top. And exhale. And wherever your hands are, whether they're at your side, on your knees, on your legs, or on your belly and your chest, wherever they might be, what I want you to do is just take a moment to visualize what it would feel like to be the ultimate successful version of yourself. Just take note. Is it joy? Is it excitement? Feel what it feels like to be at that success point of your life. Are you more energetic than you are now? Do you feel free? Do you feel unstuck? Do you feel inspired? Whatever those feelings are, just really take it in. Feel the feeling of being successful. And what I want you to do is, in your mind, with your eyes still closed, I want you to repeat this affirmation. Whether you want to repeat this out loud or just in your mind, it doesn't matter. We're going to repeat this affirmation 3 times, okay? So just repeat after me. I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. Second time. I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. And last time. I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. Okay. And we're going to take one last inhale and exhale, and we'll end this mini meditation. All right, so breathe with me. Inhale. And hold it at the top. And exhale. All right. So I wanted to bring you guys into that particular meditation because the feeling, we have to get in the feeling of what we want. And so I wanted you guys to really visualize, feel, kind of go into the, it's one thing to like visualize what you want your success to be, like what that is. So I want to hit X goal. I want to hit, X success point or milestone or whatever. Those are like, the, I don't know, it's not, I would say it's physical, the physical goals. But in a sense, those goals have attached a certain energy, right? Why do you want to hit those goals? There's a certain reason why you want to hit those goals. It's most likely because you want to feel a certain way. And as humans, we always miss that. Whereas we're always like, here's the goal, here's the goal, here's the goal. But then we forget about like, what are we attaching this goal with energetically? Like how do we want to feel? So I'll get into the acting as if in a second, but sealing it with, I know Nelda said that's her favorite affirmation. This affirmation that is so incredibly powerful, which is I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. It is a beautiful affirmation that essentially allows you to remember that you have these goals, but also to remind yourself that you don't have to go chasing for it. You don't have to force anything. Whatever is going to come to you will find you. And having that faith and saying those affirmations makes things manifest in a much quicker, faster way. It is really cool. So I've been sharing this affirmation a few times with friends, family, inside the inner circle membership, all that stuff. And it's a really beautiful affirmation. So I wanted to bring that to this particular bootcamp. Don't forget, there is another meditation that you guys received in your first email when you signed up. I'll make sure to make a note of it to add that meditation to the follow-up email. So I'll just write this down. I will forget. Okay, got it down. So I will add that for those of you that maybe missed that email or something, because it's a really great meditation. Okay. So how do you guys feel after that mini meditation? Let me know. Feel free to comment in the chat. Let me know how it felt. If you feel better. I already feel better. Not that I was feeling bad before because I was already amped up. Okay, so I want to start the official mindset training by saying no matter what I teach you guys, and to be honest, no matter what anybody teaches you guys, if your mindset is not in a good place, your goals and the manifesting process won't work in the best way or most easy way possible. So what I mean by that is, say for instance, you're trying to reach for these goals, you're trying to, grow on Instagram or, gain your dream clients or your dream work, jobs, production jobs, whatever that looks like to you. If your mindset is not in the right place, what tends to happen is you might actually be working against yourself. So usually it stems from a lack of confidence or lack of worthiness, a lot of success blocks, money blocks, things like that. Okay. I'm going to take this banner off. I won't forget this time. So that is essentially what causes a lot of obstacles that might be thrown in your direction. Okay. So, no matter what you learn from anybody, it does not matter if you're not in the right mindset. Like how many of you guys have actually been to a training, a sermon, a let's see, what else is there? What are they called? Not a ceremony, but like a seminar or anything like that, like a live event. And maybe you had something really bad happen to you that morning and you just can't focus, right? This is the same concept. If your mindset isn't in the right place, whatever you're learning about, it's not going to stick, right? Just like a side note, I'm huge on psychology. Whenever, like, think about any memory you've had, like literally any memory you've had, there is always an emotion that's attached to that memory. Meaning, your body created some sort of physical sensation, whether you remember the scent of somebody and it immediately takes you to a certain time of your life or a certain person, or something that tastes funny and it reminds you of a certain time, like carnival food. Like anytime I smell carnival food or taste a certain taste that's like carnival tasting, I immediately think about when I was younger and I would go all these carnivals. You see what I'm saying? So there's between your five senses, those have to be triggered in a really big way for you to develop a memory of that. Does that make sense? And the motion is always stimulated by one of the or more of the senses, right? So that's what I mean. Being in the right mindset. You can learn from the best people, the biggest, most incredible makeup artists in the industry. But if your mindset isn't there, it's going to go way over your head. And also, just a side note, everybody has their own take on something. So please take anything that I say with a grain of salt. I get really passionate about the things that I teach, but just because I'm passionate about what I teach doesn't mean what I am teaching is right or wrong. It works for me, it's worked for other people, but that, doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to work for every single person on this earth. So, and that goes for anybody you're learning from. If they tell you otherwise and they're like this way or the highway, that is a red flag, like run. Okay. So I want to give you guys an example that I always love to bring to the table because it really opens people's eyes. Think about, like, I'm going to bring you through like a little bit of a visualization example or an example. So imagine yourself going to your friend's house or something like that. You go to your friend's house and your friend's like, hey, Amber, I left something in my room. Will you go get it for me? And you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. So you go in the room and it's all dark. It's all dark in the room. And you're looking for, we'll just say it's a jacket. Maybe her jacket's in there. And you're looking for this jacket. It's pitch black dark. You don't really know where the lights are, like the switch, for whatever reason. Has that ever happened to you? That's happened to me many times. I'm like, where is the switch? And I'm actually scared of the dark, but that's for another day. So you're trying to find the switch, whatever, and you're looking around trying to just deal with it, right? And in the corner of the room, you see this kind of long not circular, but long tubular spiral of something that's in the corner of the room. And your mind immediately assumes that it's a snake. Like, oh my God, it's a snake. Holy shit, it's a snake, right? If this were my sister, one of my sisters, Angie, she would actually 100% have a massive panic attack. She's like deathly afraid of snakes. So if this were her, she'd be freaking out, right? And say your friend Stacy comes on and she's like, what's going on? She turns the light on and lo and behold, it's just a belt that is just kind of, in the corner, kind of like spiraled in, right? Just like circled in. But it looked like a coiled snake that's about to bite you and kill you, right? So the point of this story is to showcase that the human mind is so powerful that we make things up in our mind and our bodies react as if it is 100% true. So we act like that's a snake. We go in crazy flight or fight mode. Our body starts hyperventilating, and then we find out it's not even the thing that we thought it was. So how many times have you, taking this out of just like the snake scenario, made something up about yourself. My work isn't good enough. I can't do that. I can't make enough money. You're essentially creating these things in your mind that is like causing a reaction where your body reacts. And as odd as it sounds, sometimes, I'd say most of the time, at least for me anyways, it causes subconscious blocks and obstacles for you. And I don't know how many times I have like psyched myself out from either not doing something, or I'm not good enough, or I don't know if I should, charge that much. Oh my gosh, they're going to think I'm ridiculous. Oh my gosh, whatever. And it's all in your mind, and you create a story and you react as if that story is true when really it's most likely not, right? So I wanted to share that with you guys because our mindsets are so, just our brain in general is way more powerful than we ever get it credit for. So putting that out there. Hello, I'm seeing some new people hopping on. Hi, Kate. Awesome. Cornelia says, it definitely has me feeling ready, excited to manifest what's for me. That's awesome. Yes. So yeah, I wanted to bring that example for you guys. I always share this one because it really puts in perspective, maybe is there something right now that you're telling yourself, that, you're creating this reality that might not necessarily be 100% true, right? So, yesterday you guys were actually supposed to, in the pre-training, write out what success means to you, right? So if you missed it, don't worry about it. The whole the workbook that is associated with the pre-training basically is to really bring what success, like for you to really sit with that question. What does success look like for you? What does it look like? Or what does it mean? Because going back to this snake scenario, if you're believing that this snake, that it's a snake and not a belt, your body, your mind, your entire being acts as if it is a snake, even though it's not. So because that's what you believe, you literally believe with your whole being that it's a snake, so you're going to react as if it's a snake even though it's not, right? So going back to the question of what do you what does success mean to you, whatever that looks like to you, whatever your goals are, whatever that success, that milestone is for you, if you don't believe that it can happen for you, it's going to be so incredibly hard for you to get there. So little fun example for you guys is, for the longest time, you guys, 13 years now, I wanted, at the beginning of my career since 2000, well, it's 2009, I wanted to be a celebrity men's groomer. And for whatever reason, I never believed that I would actually be able to do it. And it's taken me, I don't want to say 13 full years, but it's taken me a very long time, upward of 10 years at least, to actually be able to embody that. Because I'll get into this in a second. When you're acting as if, you have to believe that it's true. Okay. So it wasn't until a couple years ago that I actually sat with where I was at, what I define as success, and what am I supposed to do from here? Like, how do I make this shift? Is it, do they match? Does my idea of success, or what success means to me, does that reflect where I'm at right now? And at the time, it didn't whatsoever. Like, I wanted to be a celebrity men's groomer, and I'm like, just knee deep in the TV and film industry, and that was completely by accident. Which I don't regret it or anything, but it wasn't until I finally believed in myself that I could be a celebrity men's groomer. And it took a long time. So whatever your goals are, whatever you define as success, and what those success points look like for you, you have to believe that it's true. And it also has to match and align with what it is that you want out of success. What does it feel like? So what I was saying yesterday is, if you define success as, working, say, with certain people, working with your dream clients that look at like A, B, and C, right? Maybe it's working with certain celebrities or certain makeup artists or on certain shows or for certain companies, whatever that looks like to you. You have to define that. What does your daily life look like? Do you want weekends off? Are you like all in? Like, I'm going just all in. I don't care. I'll work every day of the month. If I like, I wouldn't mind it. Some people might say that. Do you want 8-hour days? Do you want 4-hour days? Do you want 12-hour days? Are you totally cool with 18-hour days? Defining what that looks like to you is so incredibly important, because not only does it allow you to really steer and understand where you're going, but it also kind of gives you the confidence when you define that in a really significant way, and it changes the trajectory of your career. Trust me when I say that. And then when you believe, like once you define that, when you believe that you can do it, and sometimes it takes longer. For me, it took 10 plus years. There's no shame in that. Sometimes it takes a long time, sometimes it doesn't. Everybody's on their own path, everybody's on their own journey. So we're all like, seriously, like, sometimes it'll take less time for others than like someone like me. Some it's even 20 years, whatever that looks like to you. When you define that and you start to work on your mindset and start believing that you can do this, that's when the wheels start turning. Trust me when I say, when I did that, you guys, my career has not been the same this past couple years. It's completely different. I'm so much happier. So much happier. And I'm saying no to a lot of jobs. And I'll get into that later, but the believability of whatever it is that you're setting your goals out for is half the battle. It really is. Okay. All right. So take some water. Awesome. Nell says, I want to be a celebrity makeup artist for phenomenal, powerful girl boss. Dude, that's fucking cool. I'm gonna put you on blast, girl. So Nell, because not everybody can see your comment now. I want everybody to see. She says, I want to be a celebrity makeup artist for phenomenal, powerful girl bosses. There you go. That is very, you know exactly what you want. Now it's just like, it's all about just, going for it, knowing that you can do it. I love it. Veronica says, definitely been there too. The last few years, I've been inconsistent with my work. I may have missed something. Yeah. So, okay. Inconsistent with your work because I don't know what I want. That's what Veronica says. Yes. And that's the thing. Like, I love that you're saying this, because when we don't really know what we want, aka we don't know what direction to go, I think it's notorious in the film and fashion industry, where a lot of people are like, you have to choose film or fashion. And so I get this question all the time. Amber, what should I do? Should I go with film or should I go with fashion? And me personally, if you're really like kind of like stuck on that, my best piece of advice is work in both as much as you can and get a feel for which one you like more. If you like them both, that's great. But I see how beneficial it is to go in one direction. And the only reason why I say that is because, like, not to get too political here, but like, say for instance, you're working on a TV show that's like a union show. This has happened to me before. And you hit it off with one of the actors and they love you and they're like, I want to work with you more and I want to bring you everywhere with me, right? This, like, literally, this has happened to me before. And then it's crickets after the show. This is very common in the film world, where you'll work with celebrities or you work with somebody that's an influencer, somebody that can really take you places, right? And it could call you and you could become their personal or something like that, right? Sometimes, because politics, the PR team that is associated with influencers and celebrities, they like to work with the fashion artists. And I don't know why, but for some reason, they don't like to mix. So that's like the only thing that I would say. So going back to what Veronica was saying, the inconsistency. So when you don't really know which one you want, it shows up for you, right? As far as like, if you are showing up inconsistently or you're inconsistently taking if you're taking jobs inconsistently, does that make sense? And what I mean by that is like not consistently taking men's grooming. You're kind of just taking it all. You're essentially showcasing to the universe, like, give me everything because I don't know what I want. And or if you're showing up inconsistently, say you're inconsistent on Instagram, you're inconsistent with, I don't know, your prices, your just inconsistencies, whatever. If you're showing up inconsistent, things will show up back for you inconsistently, if that makes sense. Okay. But here's the thing too, Veronica, there's nothing wrong with not knowing what you want. Sometimes it just takes a little bit more time for you to really find out what you want. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't be too hard on yourself. Yeah, Vivian says, I want to be able to pick and choose my jobs. So there you go. I would say that goes along the umbrella of financial freedom, right? So I feel you on that. Kate says, I'm just starting my career, but starting out as a beauty advisor at Sephora, but my dream is to be a special effects artist for film. That's awesome. Oh, Kate says, but it feels an eternity away. Don't worry. It goes so fast. Trust me. I feel like I've only been working as a makeup artist for like a couple years and it's been 13 for me. So it goes fast. Don't wish away your like first few years because I'll never forget there was a hairstylist that I worked for a while when I started and she said the same thing to me, like, the beginning of your career is so just like fun. Like you're just excited, you're eager, you're motivated, you're ambitious. So like it's a good time. Don't be too hard on yourself either. Okay. So moving on to the next part of this training. I want to talk about the whole concept of acting as if. So I'm going to not get distracted by comments. So I'll come back to the comments in a second. So it's funny because the whole concept of acting as if, for the longest time, I just thought it was like a total crock of shit. Like I remember reading the book. I think it's called The Law of what is it called? I have it right here. Where are you? I don't have my glasses on. I can't see. Where are you? No, it's not that one. Gosh. Oh, Ask and It Is Given. That's what it's called. It's Ask It and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks / Esther Hicks. So Abraham Hicks, if you guys have ever heard of them, it is essentially Esther Hicks, and she kind of, I don't know what the word would be, but like, not interprets, but basically embodies the entity named Abraham. And they're considered they. It's just like, it's a non-gender entity. And basically, they say that acting as if, like it's the biggest part like of that book is acting as if. And I'll never forget, for the longest time, I've been doing a lot of manifestation work for like years. Like I'll never forget growing up. I remember it was like 2006 or something like that when The Secret came out on the documentary on Netflix. And I remember watching it and being like, I don't understand the big deal. Like, why is this such a big thing? Like, why are they calling this a secret? I've known this my entire life. And it's just because I've always had the concept in my head that like, if I put good energy out, good energy will come back. And if I'm mean, or if I put bad energy, it's like a whole like kind of karma concept. I've always had that in my head. So like when I heard about The Secret, I was like, this is so strange. But anyways, after that movie, I became like I started reading all the books. My parents also were like big Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor fans. And so I think that's another reason why it wasn't such a shock to me. It's just always been a part of my life growing up. And so manifestation has always been a big part of my life, whether I realized it or not. So it wasn't until probably around 2015 that I really started doing deep, deep manifestation work. And it wasn't until recently that I actually took the acting as if concept seriously. I literally always thought, I was like, what does that even mean? It's stupid. I think like I don't know why I was like so judgy about it. I was just like, this is stupid. But now I'm obsessed with it. Okay, so it literally works. All right. So my question to you is, are you currently living your own life as if those goals, those success points have already come to fruition? chances are no, and there's nothing wrong with that because, you know, it's just kind of how it works. You have a goal, and the reason why you have a goal is because you're not there yet, right? So this was the biggest like shift and pivoting point of my career. Okay. I was getting all this work that it didn't really light me up, and I started kind of getting jaded, right? So I started doing this manifestation program, and it was until this program, so that was back in 2019 that this one journal prompt came up, and it was, are you acting as if you're already at that success point? So I had set out my goal as I want to be a celebrity men's groomer. So she taught us, are you acting as if that is already your reality? Remember the snake thing. Remember the whole snake thing, the snake example. You're reacting to something that might not necessarily be real, and your body is reacting to it, right? So if you're not acting as if it's already in your reality, it's really hard to get there. So when you start to act as if it's already your reality, that being, whatever your goals are, when you start doing that, you manifest in a much quicker way. So let me give you an example. As far as celebrity men's grooming goes, right? I was at a point when I made that like declaration to the universe. I want to be a celebrity men's groomer. That's what I want. I want to get in an agency, blah, blah, blah. I essentially what would that look like? So I asked myself, what would I be doing? What's different? What would I be doing differently than I am doing now? Okay, so I'd be saying no to jobs that I didn't care about. So I love special effects. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't light me up the way that men's grooming does. I love men's grooming. So I started saying no to special effects jobs. How would I present myself? What type of tools would I be having in my kit to make sure that if I'm working with a certain caliber of actor or musician or male influencer, what type of tools would I be having in my kit? Obviously, I'd want to make sure that I've had the best of the best, right? How would I present myself in my appearance? How would I carry myself? What would I be, what type of work would I be saying yes to? All of these questions came up for me, and I was like, okay, that's it. So what I started doing, I started to invest in different types of tools that are better, a little bit more expensive, but they're better because I want to make sure that whoever I'm working on, I have like really good tools and they're not just like whatever, right? And then also how I presented myself. I started kind of dressing a little bit more because in the film world, those of you that know, you want to be as comfy as possible. But that's not necessarily the case when you are doing a press junket for a male actor. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be, you want to look a little bit more to the nines, right? So dressing as if that's a thing. I bought a different purse. Okay. I bought something that's a little sleeker, a little bit nicer, more name brand. I know that's like really, it's kind of materialistic, but in my mind, I was like, just so you guys know, politics are 100% a thing. It's not even necessarily to do with the actor themselves, but the people that they surround themselves with. It's really odd. But so I did that. I changed that. And I started putting a whole thing, like a vision board on the back screen of my desktop. And I looked at it all the time. And I changed, and I'll get into this tomorrow, but I changed my entire profile on Instagram. So like I'm getting into the mind of who's going to hire me, right? Okay, so if I want to be a celebrity men's groomer, how should my Instagram account look? It should be really, really nice photos, like my absolute best work, majority men, at least 80% men. So I had to switch that. I switched my bio, and I mean, it didn't happen overnight by any means, but it started to slowly at the end of 2019. So I started doing that like mindset shifting around, I want to say it was September. It was September of 2019. And then in November and December, I just started getting booked for solely men's grooming, like on the call sheet, men's groomer. And then in 2020, even amongst the craziest, year we've ever had, especially in Los Angeles of all places, I kept getting called for men's grooming. Kept getting called for men's grooming, kept getting called for men's grooming. Okay, I literally, this acting as if is a quantum leap in the manifesting side, right? So it's shifting your mindset to act as if it's already happening. You're tricking yourself. Remember the snake thing. You can trick yourself, right, to think that there's a deadly snake in the room, but it's just a belt. You can definitely trick yourself to feeling and embodying an amount of success that you want, that you can act as if it's already happening. Trust me when I say you can do that. Okay. Same thing with money. If you're trying to embody a certain, or not embody, but like manifest a certain amount of money, same thing. How would you be presenting yourself? What are you doing when you're looking at your bank account? In this present moment, and you are looking at your bank account, what do you feel right now? Are you scared? Are you timid? Do you kind of like, you don't really like looking at your bank account? But if you take in perspective the acting as if you want to make $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 a month, say, if you already had that, say you're already making $50,000, pretend in your mind that you're already making $50,000. What would you do? Like, what would you be doing when you look at your bank account? You'd be getting excited. You'd be getting amped up as fuck, right? Because you have like $50,000 in your account. You'd be like so excited. You'd be giving some away. You might, be putting some away. You might be investing. Like, what would you be doing with your money? Right? Obviously, how do I put? Just imagine it happening so that your body is feeling it. Trust me when I say when that happens, woo, you'll get random ass checks. It's happened to me multiple times. I know it's happened to multiple people. It's the believability and getting your mindset kind of in that frequency. I always like to say that in order to really manifest something, you have to be in the same frequency or the same energy level as whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, right? I like to think of it as kind of like an elevator. So say you're here, right? And that success point to you is like on level 20, right? Sometimes what you have to do is you have to get energetically like aligned. So you have to raise your vibration all the way to level 20. And sometimes that looks like a couple years. Sometimes it looks like a couple months. Sometimes it looks like it could even be a couple days, right? Depending on how fast you know yourself and how you can, not how fast you know yourself, how well you know yourself to really amp up your energy and your frequency to that same frequency of what that goal is of yours, right? So, what was I going to say about that? So an example for you guys. I always give this example. Sabrina and Elisa, y'all have heard this many, many times. I like to give this example of when I was trying to sell my documentary. So at the beginning, I was telling you guys about what it takes in the documentary that I directed. And it took 5 years to make. So in 2016, when I was trying to do some manifestation work around selling it to get it distributed, like to Netflix or HBO or Hulu or whatever, I had done so many manifesting techniques to manifest selling it for $500,000. Okay, so I'm going to present you this. At that time, you guys, that was the worst time of my career. I made $4,000 that year. I just found this out the other day. I actually saw this on paper. Per my taxes of 2015 and 2014, they were $50 off from each other, 2014 and then 2015. Made $50 more in 2015. Made $4,000. Like it was like $4,500 that year on paper. Okay, worst time of my life, and it's all documented on my fucking documentary. Just so you guys know, it's great times. So, anyways, that particular time of my life, I was in the process of manifesting selling this documentary, right? And it was actually 2016 when I really started. So I did everything. I did all of the manifesting meditations. What else did I do? Oh, this one manifesting hack where it's like you write the affirmation as if it's already happening. 55 times for 5 days in a row. Y'all, my hand was dead by the time. So like I tried that. I tried some other things. I tried candle work. I tried all these things. And you guys, I didn't even sell it. I didn't even come close to it. And here's the thing. This is my point. I only experienced what it felt like to be making $4,000 a year, let alone selling something for $500,000. I didn't even know what it felt like at that time in my life to have $10,000 or be making, $50,000 or $100,000 even, let alone $500,000. I was down here, like literally level. We're gonna say like it's a negative level. We'll say it's like parking level 3. So you go parking level 3, parking level 2, parking level 1, and then you've got your lobby, right? I was at parking level 3 trying to get to the 20th level of this elevator concept that I'm trying to share with you guys. In order for me to get to that point, I had to experience what it felt energetically in a frequency, what it felt like to have that certain amount of money. So I was essentially, trying to swim upstream on like the craziest river ever. So my point though is that there are ways that you can raise your vibration during the times that you are trying to manifest. Or something I like to really bring to the table is remember that sometimes you have to experience the in-betweens so that your mind knows that it's possible. Remember, this whole concept is the mindset. It's really tricky. Our brains are crazy. If we don't, it's kind of like we use, I always forget how this particular saying goes, but it's like, I'll believe it when I see it, right? That's the common thing that a lot of people say. I'll believe it when I see it. But in all actuality, we actually have to see it to believe it, meaning experiencing $10,000. So you see that, so you believe it. Then experiencing $20,000, you see it, so you believe it, so on and so forth, right? So that's what I have for you guys as far as like the elevator thing. I know it was a long-winded explanation example. So the question is, are you currently living as if? What can you be doing to kind of start acting as if your goals, what you want is already yours? It's already happening. How would you be acting? How happy, how excited would you be? Act happy and excited regardless. Like, if you want $50,000 in your bank every single month and it's not happening right now, still act as if it is. Because trust me when I say it's crazy what will happen when you do that. Okay? So define who you have to be to do that. Who do you have to be? This is something I love to talk about, is identifying who you are and where you're at now, which is what I talked about in the pre-training. Acknowledging where you're at now and writing out where you want to be. Where's that success point? What goals do you have? Okay. So define who you have to be to get there. Do you have to switch a couple things? I know, let me just double check this. Was it Veronica? I think Veronica was the one that said the inconsistency thing. So what do you have to change in your life to be more consistent? Is there something that you can do to change? Can you start, putting reminders on your phone to be consistent in whatever area you need more consistency in? Do you, sometimes, investing in certain programs, that can help. Being a part of something like this, that's something too that can really, really help with, kind of like getting to that point, right? Getting into the energy of who you are trying to be and defining that, right? Okay, so I'm just going to take a moment to just check out the chat. Yes, Elisa says, I love the acting as if mindset. It's so powerful. It really is. It really is. I love it too. It's a work in progress for me. Here's just so you guys know, it's taken me a long time, and it took a long time for it to click for me too. So here's something. I challenge you guys to this. Aside from the other challenge I'm going to give you later. So like this is separate. Something that I did that like got me physically to experience and connect the whole acting as if, it doesn't have to be crazy. like do it in increments, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever excites you. So something that I did, I'll wear it tomorrow maybe so you guys can see it. Okay, so one of the first things that I did after that session, that program I took, the manifesting program, after I made it like, oh, okay, so like I want to be a men's groomer, I want to be a celebrity men's groomer, how would I blah blah blah, right? So something that I told myself is, what would I be doing? You know, in my mind, a celebrity men's groomer, they tend to make a lot of money. So I would be at a certain income bracket, right? How would I carry myself if I was in that income bracket? Well, I would blah 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 blah. I would go into a store, my favorite, store that I haven't ever been able to go to, and buy something from that store. And that particular store for me and my sister is Free People. I've always obsessed over that brand ever since moving to California. And we always did the window shopping because it was like, that place is expensive. And it's, in all honesty, it's really not that expensive, but it's expensive. It's not like Chanel or anything like that, but it's like, gosh, I think it's like 100 and some for a t-shirt or something like that. It's a little expensive. So anyways, what I did is I was like, well, I'm going to go to Marshall's, right? I go to Marshall's and there it was right at the beginning, like at the front of the store. It was a Free People cardigan. And it was like, I think originally $198 or something like that. And I got it for like, oh my God, like I want to say it was like $40 or something like that. And I was just like, oh my God. So every time I wear that, it makes me feel a certain way because I kind of tricked my brain to acting as if I bought that at the store and I paid full price, right? And the trickery that was going on in my mind was, I'm a celebrity men's groomer. I make a certain amount of money and I have no problem buying that, right? Even though that wasn't necessarily the case, but remember the snake concept, right? You can trick your brain. You can. And it took a couple years to get there, but trust me when I say, if I didn't do that, I really don't. I think it would have taken a lot longer for me to get where I am as far as that particular goal goes. Okay, somebody says, I love this. I've been a makeup artist in the industry for 14 years, worked with amazing talent, and was with an agency pre-COVID, and at a crossroads right now. What's next? That's awesome. I understand the crossroads, that's for sure. Cool, just reading the comments. That is such a great point, and this is exactly where I am in my life right now, remembering who I am and what makes me truly happy and and the work that fulfills me. Yeah, that's another thing too, is defining what makes you happy, because I am obsessed with men's grooming. That's what makes me happy. So like I said, I literally started saying no. And almost always, if I ever get asked like, hey, are you available for this job? I always ask what is involved. There was actually an ad campaign and I was paying a lot of money. Got asked to do an ad campaign recently for 3 days and it was going to be really great money, but it was going to be a glam look. And I was like, sorry, not about it. I don't want to do glam. And when I say glam, I'm saying like, red lip, winged liner, lashes, like, all that. Like, that doesn't bring me joy. It brings me a lot of stress, to say the least, like a lot of stress. Woo. Like I'm sweating thinking about it. Kate says, what helped you get past the blocks of the contrast between acting as if versus the reality of what your life is actually at the moment? I hope this makes sense. It does make sense. So basically what you're asking is, how did I get past, sorry, let me just ask this question in my head. What helped you get past the blocks of the contrast between acting as if versus reality of what you're okay? So yes, I see what you're saying. So basically, like, I wasn't a men's groomer at the time. How did I get past that? It sounds really weird, but it's just the concept of tricking your brain. The other thing too is I became obsessed with that particular goal. So I personally do new moon and full moon rituals pretty much every month. Every once in a while I'll miss one or two. And like, if you were to see my journal that I write in every single month with the new moon manifestations, I always write that. And affirmations are really big. I'm going to share this with you guys later on. And so I would always remind myself that it's coming, that I'm, on my way. It's already mine. This whole concept of time that we as humans have is actually, it's pretty complex. But if you really think about it, like, it's already yours in some way, shape, or form. And I don't want to get too like, woo, like, wow, like we're going down the TikTok bunny hole. You can, it's already yours, right? So getting past, I mean, I will say there was a lot of like, let's see, that was in 2019 when I really started making that shift. I had already been doing mindset work for about like deep mindset work for at least 3 or 4 years before that. So there is that, like, I want to put that out there. I'm not saying that this was an overnight thing, or that I even just started this manifestation of like becoming a celebrity men's groomer in just a couple years, because that's not the case at all. Elisa knows. Elisa has been with me since 2017. So she's known my story ever since then, and she's known how long I've been going at this particular goal and manifesting process. So anyway, getting past where you are in your reality, you just have to like, it's reprogramming your mind. Meditation was the biggest for me, I would say. So to really answer your question in a really like straightforward, meditation. I personally love guided meditations. And just to put this out there, I struggle a lot with ADD. It's actually really bad. And I still meditate, and I can still like, I feel like all of us are artists, and a lot of us are like, some people that I've talked to, like, well, I can't meditate. I'm like, my mind. It's just a matter of like, it's like the whole concept of getting on a bike. You have to continually get back on that bike to, after you take those training wheels off, right? It's not like there's definitely some people that's like, woo, it's like really quick. There's this little boy I was working on set with the other day, and he had a bike, and I was like, oh my God, he's only like 3 and he's already like just zipping by. But for the most part, a lot of us have to have that repetition. Okay. And then when you do something at any level, whether it's affirmations, guided meditations, like what I was doing, yoga, just to like bring your mind some peace, quiet, and de-stressing, it helps to also reprogram your mind when you do it for at least 21 days. So I highly suggest what I did. This was back in 2017. Yeah, 2017, I want to say. I did an entire 30 days straight of a guided meditation, and that really, really, really helped a lot. So that's what I would suggest. Kate that's who asked this question. I hope that answered your question. Basically, I would suggest guided meditations that are specific to reprogramming your mind. A lot of like hypnosis is really, really great. That really reprograms for you to be more confident, and to reprogram your mind of being worthy and getting rid of those blocks and all that kind of stuff. And then you can start doing the acting as if, where you're essentially tricking your mind. Because trust me, like I said at the beginning of this whole topic of acting as if, I thought it was bullshit because it never worked for me. But you just have to give yourself grace that it takes a little practice. It takes a little getting your mindset in the right place first before you start doing something like that. That's what I would suggest. Vivian, I've been out of the film industry for 12 years, and I'm only now starting to believe that I am okay, but I want to be confident to be me again. To me, I was the me I was when I had constant work in the industry. Yeah, girl, you already got it. It's a part of you. Like, you were already there at one point. You can 100% do it again. Like I understand, like, not being out of it for 12 years. I understand that for sure. But you did it once. You can 100% do it again. It's all up to you. You are your own block. Just remember that. You are your only block. Kay asks a question. If we struggle with meditation and distractions in our mind, how do we relax? Do we just focus on the guided words? So here's something that we always, because I went through yoga teacher training, and meditation is a very big part of this. So I love this question. I'm going to put this up here so you guys can see it because it's on YouTube. So really great question. If you struggle with distractions and stuff like that, just allow it to happen and just come back every single day. every single day it's going to get easier and easier, just like riding that bike without those training wheels, or like getting on rollerblades. Have you guys been on rollerblades lately? Holy shit. I haven't done rollerblading in a really long time. I am scared to go rollerblading because like you're not, I haven't gone rollerblading for such a long time. You get out of practice, right? But if I, went for 2 hours and retrained myself tomorrow, and I did another 2 hours the next day and another, whatever, I'm going to go back to my old self. Talking about with, it's a really great point to kind of with Vivian, what you said, yeah, I haven't been on rollerblades since I was in like 4th grade. That was like 20 years ago, right? More than 20 years ago. Yikes. It's like 23 years ago for me. So 23 years have gone by. However, I did it. So if I got back on my rollerblades, I'd be shaky. I'd be falling at first. But when I come back to it every single day, I get back into the swing of it because it's already programmed in my mind. It's just kind of like gunky right there, right? But it's like muscle memory. You go back into it. So that's what I would say. When you keep coming back to the practice, it gets easier and easier. You're gonna hear things. Sometimes you fall asleep, and that is okay. I feel like the biggest thing that happens with us when we struggle with distractions and focusing and stuff like that, we like beat ourselves up when we're not this like perfect and like like completely present being when we're meditating. It's just not like that. Give yourself grace. With time, it'll become easier and easier. Every single time you come back to your meditation pillow, the bed, the chair, the ground, your yoga mat, whatever that looks like for you. Do we just focus on guided words? Everybody's different. That's something that I always teach in my and on my courses. Everybody learns differently. Therefore, every single thing, like manifestation techniques, meditation techniques, yoga techniques, we all gravitate to different things because we're all individual beings. We all literally have different thumbprints. So when you ask, do we just focus on guided words, you have to find out what works best for you. So just explore, go on YouTube, listen to some meditations. I like guided meditations. Some people like meditations that have certain styles of music. I really like the spa stuff that's almost tribal. I really actually like that, but some people absolutely hate it and they can't get into so it just depends. So I hope that answered your question. Okay. Awesome. Oh yes, Jordan says over on the YouTube channel, Headspace is a really great app. Check that one out. It's a really good app. There's also an app called Calm, CALM, but Headspace is really great. It's for me because I like to have music. It starts you out, at least when I did it, it starts you out with just a voice. There's no music in the background, but for beginners, it's really, really great. Okay, so really quick, Kay asks where we find good meditation hypnosis. I will come back to this question. Yes, I will come back to some of these questions because, we're almost at an hour and a half and I've got a decent amount to go over still. Because we got to talk about blocks. Okay, I will definitely come back to that question, I promise. Okay, so we're going to start talking about blocks now. This is the last kind of section of this particular training, discovering what your blocks are, okay? We have to get past these blocks. Blocks are always subconscious. So I'll give you some examples of what my personal blocks have been in the past that I have personally worked through. They've come to the surface for me through meditation, hypnosis, sometimes just through conversation, whether that looks like for you therapy or speaking to your best friend, whatever that looks like for you. Literally, I have had the biggest aha moments because I actually, I have an accountability business partner. And whenever I speak with that girl, it's like she and I feed off of each other and bounce off of each other when these things come up. And it's a really cool thing. So accountability is huge, just so you guys know. So anyways, for me, a huge block for the longest time was like I always had this money block, and I could never manifest a certain amount of money. I always hit this kind of ceiling with my income and my day rates and all this kind of stuff. And I always looking into like going into my inner work, my deep work, my meditations, and what came up for me was growing up, I was always told that's too expensive. We don't have enough money for that. No, Amber, you can't have the Lucky Charms. You have to have the off-brand because that's just too expensive. Oh, Amber, it's Thursday. Every Thursday, my family and I would go out to get dinner because it was my dad's payday. Every other Thursday, and so we would go to like Applebee's or we'd go to like Outback or whatever. No, we didn't. Did we go to Outback? I don't know. Applebee's was very much a part of my childhood. And I'll never forget, I was always like, oh, I really want to get the ribs or I want to get the steak. And my mom would always say, no, that is too expensive. And so for the longest time, anytime I was ever being taken out to dinner, I would always buy, I would like if somebody else is buying my dinner or my lunch or breakfast, I would always choose the cheapest option. And I'll never forget this one guy I was dating, he's like, you're literally getting this side salad. What are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm not that hungry. And he's like, you were just talking about how hungry you are, Amber. What are you talking about? He's like, you don't want the steak? And I was like, oh, no, no, no. It's like a $40 steak. He's like, I don't care. Why? Just get the steak. And it was a really, uh, interesting experience because growing up in my childhood, I was always told you can't have that, it's too expensive, right? And not to I love my parents. They were brilliant parents. I love them with all my being, but they definitely planted a certain seed and definitely made me feel a certain way around money. So that is something. The other thing too is for the longest time with my online business, I was always hitting these weird roadblocks and obstacles for the success of it just in general. And it wasn't until recently, remember I was just saying I have like this online not online this accountability business partner, and we were just talking about like, just things like that are like triggers and things like that. And all of a sudden I started talking about my mom getting sued when my mom's a hairstylist and she had her own salon, and one of the co-owners sued her, and I remember witnessing that, and I essentially internalized that as, oh my gosh, if I own my own business, that opens me up to being sued and being betrayed by friends that like whatever, right? So it's really interesting what happens, especially in our childhood. If you guys ever are into psychology, the early years between when you're born to the ages of 7, crucial for how you react to things, what you're triggered by, the blocks that you have, so on and so forth. But even more so, like it goes on just beyond that, like little things that you experience through middle school, through high school, and into college, and just traumatic events, whether and things that you seeing my mom getting sued, like I didn't even remember that happened until recently, and it was a traumatic experience for me, and not in a like, oh my gosh, like I'm crippling with pain and emotion. It was terrifying to me because I was like, oh my gosh, are we going to lose our house? Is she going to be able to keep the salon? Like I was in, and overhearing these conversations with this woman that was trying to sue my mom, and how they were going and just fighting all the time. It was scary for me as, a 9-year-old girl. I think I was 9. I don't really remember how old I was, but I was around 9 years old. So what happened with that memory is I suppressed that memory. It became subconscious, and therefore it came out in the process of when like creating my own business and kind of hitting a certain block because I was in a safe place. Like if I go out of this safe zone, this comfort zone, that other side of that comfort zone is possibly getting sued, possibly being betrayed by people, so on and so forth. So success blocks, money blocks are 100% something that we need to get down and really bring to the surface so you can let it go, analyze it, remember that it happened, and just like kind of let the universe take it and you I forget what they call it, but basically just put it in the ether and no longer have it be stored in your body somewhere, right? And no longer be a block to you. Okay. Um, so some ways, so some of you guys are probably wondering, how do I release these blocks? What's the best way to do that? So I was just talking about meditation. Okay, so meditation, there's a lot of different guided meditations that you can listen to, which I'll go through in a second. Don't worry, you guys. Guided meditations that are in more sort of the form of hypnotherapy. There's a guy by the name of, let me get his name, Joel, Joel, Theolk. I think that's how you say it, how you pronounce. How the hell do you spell his last name? Sorry. It's on my phone. Let me just check this. Sorry, guys. I want to make sure that I'm not giving you the incorrect information. Okay. Audible. Okay, his name is Joel. I know his name is Joel. Thielke. Tealk. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the banner so you guys can see. You guys were asking about where to go for hypnotherapy or hypnosis and meditation. This is the guy. 100% between him and there's another woman by the name of, she'll come to me in a second. Just give me a moment. He has amazing hypnosis downloads. So he has stuff on YouTube. A lot of his just kind of more basic stuff is on YouTube. I highly suggest going to Audible and downloading his actual Audible thing. So he has a ton. I have one right here, Stop Your Sugar Addiction, because y'all, I've got a sugar addiction. Stop Panic Attacks. Just so you guys know, because of the pandemic, I when was this? Recently started experiencing really bad panic attacks. And I started listening to this particular guided hypnosis, and I'm not even kidding, the next day I felt fine. I felt completely fine. And there was a certain how do I say this? I went camping for the first time in my entire life, and it was with a huge group of people that I didn't really know. So I had a lot of anxiety around it, and I don't like, the reason why I've never gone camping is because I'm scared of bears, tarantulas, I don't know, things just coming and attacking me, like murderers. I don't know. I have really bad anxiety. I'm putting that out there. I don't even care. But I listened to this track every single night, and I had the time of my life. It was the best experience I've ever had. So anyways, this guy is the real deal. Okay. So he has everything from unlimited motivation, stop procrastination. He has a lot. So check him out. Joel Tealk. I think he pronounces it with a T, not a th. So Tealk. Like I said, he is on YouTube. You can definitely find some of his stuff on YouTube, but it's not nearly as in depth. Check him out. It's amazing. So anyways, that is one way for you guys to get down into bringing up some success blocks or working through them. So meditation is one. Sometimes you can find guided meditations that bring you through kind of child, it brings you back to a certain memory. It's really wild. So there's some meditations there. Let's see. I'm just going to go back to my workbook and just make sure that I have it. Just so you guys know, there's a ton of resources in your day one workbook. Some ways that you can get release blocks or release anything that you have, say for instance, you have trouble finding success, you have trouble finding love, you have trouble finding, or you have trouble losing weight, whatever. Something that is called the tapping solution. It's called EFT. There's a book that I particularly like. It's by Nick Ortner. And they're him and his sister are really, really awesome when it comes to EFT, which is emotional freedom tapping. Okay, so I don't want to go too deep into this because we're already a little bit over time. I want to make sure I respect your guys' time. But basically, you just tap different meridians okay, of your body. So it's here. I don't even know. Just check Nick Ortner out. It's all in your workbook. And they go over exactly how to do it. It's a whole like Chinese medicine technique. It's really awesome. There was an ex that I had recently. I had a hard time getting over this particular ex, and I did a lot of EFT. I did a lot of tapping to release that, and it was really, and it's a really intense. It's a really great technique to use to release blocks, release energy ties, things like that. There's another book that's also in the same vein as tapping. It's essentially tapping. It's called How to Heal Yourself When No One Else Can. It's a really great book. It's a really great book. Another energetic clearing slash like block remover is called the Emotion Code. That one utilizes a magnet. Okay, so they use muscle testing to get down, like to get to the bottom of what might be causing, blocks or whatever. It's really cool. And then you use magnets to kind of like essentially balance, I guess you could say, or like equal out, because like say for instance it's a negative thing, the magnet puts it into a positive, and it kind of just like releases it. It's a really cool technique. And then lastly, not lastly, there's a couple more. I have another book there, Unleash Your Inner Money Babe by Manifestation Babe. It's a great book. If you guys want to manifest money specifically, buy that book. Trust me. It's a 21-day challenge book, if you will. So every single day for 21 days, she gives you like an assignment. And she specifically, like the book says, manifest $1,000 in 21 days. And so your first run through, you'll be like setting out to manifest $1,000. And she suggests at the end of it, come back to this anytime you want, redo it, but then add on more money and make it more each and every single time. And every time that I do it, I don't think I get even past like day 5. And I manifested the 1,000 the first time I did it. I did 5,000 one time, and I did a $10,000 one. So it's a good one. But you got to do the work. So, show up consistently with that one for sure. Another way to release like blocks and energy, like stagnant energy, which is like a really rapid way to do it. If those of you that have been in the mindset, self-development, energetic healing world for a while, this is what I would suggest for you. If you're newer, you could do this, but it might be kind of a shock to the system, which isn't a bad thing. Just be careful. But anyways, it's called breath work. All right. And this particular, in your workbook, I have the website that's directly to the people that I like to follow. It's called Revelation Breathwork, and their system, their process is amazing. They incorporate music into their breathwork, and the way that they facilitate it is really, really magical. And trust me when I say it's normal. Like you'll have kind of like this crying fit, like you just cry, or like sometimes I get really itchy. Like we all release energy in very different ways. But it's working when, like some people, it sounds really scary, but some people kind of like clamp up, like kind of like their fingers get kind of cramped, and like they call it crab hands or something like that, but it's normal. A lot of people, it happens. But that's just like this energy coming up. And a lot of times, when you do one of their sessions, I think your first session is free. So definitely look into them. When you do your first session, you'll have something that comes to mind that you're like, oh. So like say when you do the session, you start with an intention. Maybe you set the intention of, I want to find out what this success block is. I want to find what this money block is. I want to find what this relationship block is, whatever that looks like to you. And then trust me when I say it, it's insane. It's always very synchronistic. The universe always brings you to the one session you're supposed to be on. Trust me when I say that. It's really incredible. That is another technique. The last technique that I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to get to your questions, is Kundalini yoga. I did yoga teacher training because I love yoga. However, I'm not a fan of vinyasa, and I'm not a fan of hatha yoga. I love yin yoga, restorative, and kundalini. Now, kundalini, what I was just saying about the breath work, kundalini is yoga with movement and breath work. So it's yoga, movement, and breath work, and actually mantras too, but they're in Sanskrit. So you're actually speaking a different. I mean, if your first language is English, you're speaking a different language. So it feels a little foreign, but you guys, it is so powerful. Woo! Like, take a picture of yourself before you do a Kundalini session, and then after, and send me the results, because I would love to see that. Kundalini is the most incredible yoga practice out there. 100%. I'm like, I haven't done it in a while, but I have been like, I need to do it because I need it back in my life. It is, when you do it, and it's not for everybody. I want to put that out there, but if you do connect with it, trust me, it is life changing, life changing. So what I was saying earlier about, all of these things, you've got essentially meditation, because yoga is a form of meditation, movement, mantra, which is, affirmations, and then you've got breath work, all working at once. So it is like the ultimate, like, if you really want things to happen like rapidly for you, I'll put this out there. This is too long of a story for me to say because we're already way over. I'll maybe share that a different day. Basically, I manifested something really quickly, when I did yoga, a Kundalini yoga session. And they do it for 40 days when you do the traditional like yoga kriya. So I did it. I did it for 40 days, and it was the most incredible, like, wow. Literally met my life partner. Like, that was crazy. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy story. Like I said, it's so long, so I can't share it today. But anyways, okay, so getting back to your guys' questions. Okay, so Kay asked question, where do we find good meditation and hypnosis? So I hope that I answered that for you. Check out your workbook. There's some in there. I would say, just like Jordan said, Headspace is really good for beginners. To be honest, Joel Talk is a really great person to start out with as well. His is more hypnosis and like sleep hypnosis. So you can listen to him while you're asleep, and it reprograms you, like it reprograms your mind while you're asleep. So it takes away that the when we think about meditating, we're like, oh my gosh, like I don't think I can meditate. Start, if that's how you feel about meditation, just put this track on, like find whatever track you're wanting to check out with him on Audible. If you're trying to if you want to stop procrastination, if you're wanting to become more motivated, if you want to lose weight, if you want to stop your sugar addiction, if you want to stop panic attacks, he has all of these. Like, there's so many. Choose whichever one you want to start with. I would start with one. And do it for 21 days. That's what he suggests. And you just listen to it while you're asleep. So there's no pressure. You know what I'm saying? There's no pressure when you're just like listening to a track while you're asleep. And they're usually between 3 and 5 hours long. So it ends up like just stopping, by the time that you're usually like asleep. So it's really, really neat. I'm going to take this banner off really quick. Okay. All right. Yes, and Nell says YouTube has a lot of playlists as well. If you guys check out our YouTube channel, the What It Takes TV YouTube channel, I have a meditations playlist, and it's my favorite ones. There's one by Bob Proctor. I believe I have one by Abraham Hicks. She has a really great one for financial well-being. There's another one that I am obsessed with, and her name is Mary Kate. What I'll do is I will add that into the Facebook group so that you guys can see. So meditation track, or not track, but playlist. I have it. Playlist. I'll make sure that I add that into the Facebook group. Vivian says, I haven't been rollerblading for 20 years. Elite says, I believe if you live in LA, you can sign up for Headspace for free. Okay. Nice. Yes, and Elisa says she's fallen asleep during meditations. Yes. Here's the thing, there's a theory. I don't know like a ton of, the scientific backing on this, but a lot of people say that it's when you fall asleep during meditations, it's just your body's way of like really taking in the meditation on a subconscious level. Like, for example, this sounds kind of a little rough to hear, not rough to hear, but rough to say, but it's like sometimes you might not be ready for what's to come up, so your body falls asleep. I've heard of that concept or that theory before. Um, and it's not like tragic and it's not like scary or anything, but sometimes it's like um, you need to take in the meditation on a more subliminal, like unconscious, like subconscious level rather than like being awake for it, if that makes sense. Awesome. Yay. Wait a second. Okay, Kay says, I gotta show this to everybody because not everybody on Facebook can see what you're saying. Has anyone seen the Netflix movie Hypnotic? I'm writing this down. Why is it creepy? Hypnotic. I'm gonna check this out. We can talk about why it's hypnotic like on a different day, but I'm gonna check that out. Okay. Oh, and yes, somebody says I'm loving gua sha right now, which goes to the meridians, and I notice breathing and tapping those areas do help. Yes. So if you guys do look into Nick Ortner or Jessica Ortner, they talk a lot about like if you're driving and you're getting stressed out, you can do the tapping method, and it really does help. I've done it before. Even if like right here, let me take this down right here between like where your collarbone kind of like dips in right there. Even if you just kind of tap this when you're feeling overwhelmed, a lot of anxiety, a lot of the times just tapping that one area can help calm you down instead of like, because with tapping it's a whole process. You go through like this mm, mm, this. Oh yeah, and this one too. So it's a little bit more of a process. So while you're driving, it can kind of get a little distracting, but like that is a really great go-to if you're like, you just need to tap, right? Just a side note, as soon as I really started listening to your podcast, specifically on networking, I was able to meet someone through my job that is introducing me to a bridal mentorship. That's awesome. Congratulations, Kate. Yay. Yes, I do have a podcast as well. I always forget to talk about my podcast during these things. Yes, it's called the Manifesting Makeup Artist Podcast. Feel free to check it out. She's talking about, there's an episode that I talk about networking. And like kind of the confidence behind like reaching out to people and networking in today's age and stuff like that. So thank you for bringing that up. I love that. Thank you. So yes. And then Elisa says these meditations are awesome as well. Rising higher meditation. Awesome. That's great. Thank you for sharing that, Lisa. Okay, so let me get my notes back out. I totally like put this. Okay. So, last thing I'm going to say is that investing in your brain is literally the best thing you can ever do. Investing in your brain in a sense of drinking a lot of water. Trust me when I say your brain loves water. It loves water. Your body loves water. Your skin loves water. Just so you guys know, this is a really interesting thing that I came across on Instagram. Somebody was saying that it was on her Instagram story. She was like, oh my gosh, I was just like, I was talking and I wasn't making sense. Like my words were not making sense. And the person she was talking to, she goes, have you not been drinking water? She's like, oh yeah, no, I haven't. And she said she just downed a ton of water and then she was fine. So trust me when I say, ever since like I saw that Instagram story, I tested it myself and I was like, this is insane. Like, oh my God. And I started drinking water in a much better sense than I had at the time. I was really bad about water. And now that I live in Denver, just so you guys know, I don't think I even said I'm in Denver now. Now that I'm in Denver, holy crap. It's like it is so dry here. Like I thought California was dry. I thought LA was dry. Hell no, it is nothing compared to Denver. I always have like big like water bottles. Like this is like not even as big as I usually go. I'm always drinking water. So fuel your brain, learn, meditate, do whatever feels good to you. And another thing too is just remember to give yourself grace that it's kind of a learning curve when you're figuring yourself out. If you don't, if you're new to the meditation space, or you're new to any of the mindset self-development or not, you do have there's a learning curve. You have to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. Everything I just shared with you guys, all of you are going to like connect with something different. Just because guided meditations work extremely well for me, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for Elisa. Elisa was saying she always falls asleep. So her connection to a guided meditation might just not be the same as mine, right? So she might find something different. Maybe she, for manifesting or for releasing blocks, maybe she has to journal, which I haven't even talked about yet. I totally meant to talk about that. Journaling is really big as well. Just writing it out, because we're always so in our heads. And for the longest time, I didn't really think that I was a big journaler. Like I was like, whatever. And it wasn't until I started journaling that whole acting as if thing came out. So speaking of journaling, if you go to your workbooks, there's an entire journaling section, and the questions are very intentional and very important. So please make sure, definitely take the pre-training workbook, fill that out before you do day one, and then come back to day one and fill everything out to like as much as you possibly can. Okay. All right. And yeah, I saw Kate says, I listen to it every single time I sit down to do my makeup for work, and it helps me so much. Oh, yay. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Aw, I love that. That literally just made my day. Thank you. So the absolute last thing before we close out here is I want to share with you guys the day one challenge. So today's challenge. All right. So the way that you are going to do this challenge, you're going to share your biggest takeaway today on the homework thread inside the Facebook group. Okay. Now, if you are, for those of you that are over on YouTube, don't worry. I still see you. We're still acknowledging you. What you will do is you will just comment on the YouTube video instead of the group. Okay. So share your biggest takeaway inside the Facebook group or on the YouTube video that you're watching right now. Okay. Or what you can also do is share this on your Instagram stories and tag what it takes. Okay. Either one works. And basically what tomorrow, I'm trying to figure out if I want to keep it as like a surprise for tomorrow's winner, like the prize. Maybe I'm gonna keep it a little, I might keep it to myself because I want you guys to like get excited. Okay. And I want you to get like, I want you to do the homework, and I want there to be some suspense. Okay. All right. So that is it for day one. I hope you guys enjoyed your first day. I hope there was a lot of light bulb moments. We went over a lot. But I had so much fun with you guys. You guys were really great in the chat. Thank you guys for those of you that were on with me live and that were interacting. I love that. But yes, so for those of you that want to enter the challenge, just a reminder, share your biggest takeaway for today, meaning day one. What was your biggest takeaway? And you guys can essentially, like, if whoever is watching this as a replay, you have until the beginning of our sessions tomorrow. So we start every single day at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So you have from now until 5 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow, essentially, maybe like a minute before. Okay, yes, you're welcome, Elite. So before you guys go, just for the people that are in the Facebook group, I'm going to be posting a homework thread, and that homework thread is where you're going to be entering that challenge. For those of you in the YouTube world watching this now or on the replay, just comment on the video, okay? Awesome. Cool. I see Kay's already got hers. Awesome. She says, my biggest takeaway was that if I keep up the work and investment in my mindset and brain consistently, then the results will come. Yay. Exactly. I love it. Awesome, you guys. So that is all for today. For the Facebook group peeps, look out for the homework thread. Okay. And then last, also, I just want to remind you guys, if you want those upgrades, today and tomorrow are the last days for those prices. So the $17 upgrade for getting the mentorship from one of our accountability mentors, the added mentorship, and then also that the negotiations masterclass. And then the second upgrade being $47 for that Instagram audit, where I personally go to your Instagram account and I share with you how to essentially amplify your account to make more money, get more gigs, your dream clients, things like that, with a mini marketing strategy specific to you and like what your desires are. Because you guys, marketing strategies are different from every single person depending on what you want out of your career. Okay. It's very specific. Okay. All right, you guys. So that was day one. Oh my gosh, this is so great. I can't wait for day two. Tomorrow is going to be all about marketing. Get ready. We have Christy Tag Attack that's going to be with us at the very end. She's going to be talking about how, she created Create Safely and Pocketbook. It's going to be amazing. So tune in tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific time. If you can't make it, there will be a replay. So don't worry. We always got your back, y'all. We always got your back. We've got replays all over the place. All right. Yay, Vivian says, so many light bulb moments. I'm blown away with how much I can put into practice. Oh, yay, you're welcome. You're welcome, Vivian. So much love to you. Okay, you guys, y'all are just gonna manifest the shit out of your goals. I can already feel it. You are all already successful in your own rights, and I am here for it. So cheers to you all and all of your successes. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.